All right, well, here it is, race breakdown. Before we get started, show this off again. A little winner or age grouper podium, little medal. I wouldn't even call it. It's like a piece of wood with Wisconsin Tri Series on it. It's pretty cool. You know what? The only thing that would make this better is if it was a magnet, because I actually don't like when they give you a big trophy. You never really know what to do with it because it's so big and bulky. Like, I'm not going to put that on my dresser or anything. So I really like this. You know, it's small enough to that I'll probably actually put a magnet on it, hanging on the refrigerator. On top of that, I got this shirt. Pretty cool. It actually fits really well, so I'm pretty pumped on that. And then all triathlons give out like medals to all participants. This one is actually pretty unique. So I took off the string that goes around it, and it's actually a bottle opener. So we'll hang that on the fridge as well, use it as a bottle opener. That's actually pretty cool because, you know, people just throw these out. So actually making them useful is a good idea. Along with that, of course, I'm going to have a beer. Haven't had a beer in a... Actually, no, I have had a beer in a while. I wasn't supposed to be having beers before this, but here we go. You know, 4th place overall beer. All right, let's break it down. So I want to start first with the, the fatigue freshness form scale here. At the peak about a week ago, I was at a 69 fitness, negative 17.9 form, which is right where you want to be. You want to be right around that like negative 20 area. You can see that was hovering around there for the last couple of weeks. I even started to get into a little bit of overload area, so I actually took a little bit of a rest after that. But you can see I started tapering last Thursday. We went home, so it was a little bit of an off weekend, which is fine. 7 days out isn't... well, I guess it turned out to be 8 days. 8 days out is fine for... I wanted to peak for this. You know, I wanted to go into the next couple races knowing that I'll get one good result. And being my first triathlon, I wanted it to be a good race. So I wanted to peak for this. So you can see the taper went well. Here, this little spike here is when I did a couple race intervals just to get the legs moving. This on Friday I did an easy run, easy swim, and today was race day. Total stress score was 171. Yeah, two runs, 2 swims, and a bike. One run was a warm up, like a 5-minute warm up run. The other swim was like a 2 or 3 minute warm up swim. You know, that was kind of the issue. Is I wanted to get a good warm up in. Well, I warmed up, and it was like I warmed up the run right before transition closed, and then I got my swim stuff on, my wetsuit on, and went to the beach. Except it was about an hour and a half after I had run that the race started, and about an hour after I did my swim warm up that the race started. So there was like a huge shock factor there that I was not really anticipating. I was actually in the last wave, so I thought I had originally signed up for elite, but when I got there, they had signed me up for age group, which is like, it's not ideal, but it's fine. Everyone gets scored together. You know, so it's whatever. To be honest, the elite category only has like 3 guys that are actually like trying to race elite. Everyone else just does the elite category because it goes off sooner than the age group category. So taper went well. You can see I was at a 10 over form. I thought that was going to be closer to 25. I had a couple days off that I wasn't anticipating. The Wednesday, Anna and I went to the Bucks game, so I was a little worried that I was over rested, and turns out I was just about perfect. I think 10 is a 10 to 20 is a good range. 25 if it's like a real Real taper, like for half Ironman, I'll probably be at a or at a positive 25. So moving on to the actual results here, you can see overall 4 out of 180. Pretty proud of that. Except for my age group did pretty well because I only got third out of 21 for my age group. I thought when I saw fourth overall, I was like, okay, first or second age group. Nope. The two of the three guys in front of me were in my age group as well. But what are you going to do? So overall, it was a 2 hour 16. We'll call it 2 hours 17 time. Don't look at the pace. That's overall pace. It's not run pace. That includes your swim, bike, and run. So swim, 21-minute swim, I think that came to like a 1:16. So that's like right where I was aiming. I'm super happy with the 21. I wanted to be under 21 and like closer to 20, which I think is attainable, but I was kind of going into my first open water swim race blind. So I'm actually really happy with the 21. I think I was second out of the water. So, I mean, for my first open water swim, like you can't be mad with that, T1 105, that's way better than I thought I was going to do. I thought I was going to be closer to 2 minutes. So that went great. Super happy with that. Bike, again, I'm super happy with the bike. I think I was second overall on the bike. The guy who won is a full-time triathlete. He did it in like 106. And then the two other guys that beat me, I think did close to like a 112, 113. The run is where I really, before we talk about the run, T2, 137. This is a little bit slower than I would have liked. I would have liked it closer to T1. I got kind of caught up putting my bike away. Where my space was for the bike, the person next to me had put their bike in my space, and I was the last bike on the rack. So I had to take time to like move their bike and then put my bike in without like any space. And my pedals were getting caught on the rack and stuff. So it took longer than I wanted. 137 is fine, not ecstatic about it, but it's fine. The run is where I really broke down. So originally I was looking at previous times and they were in the 35, 36 area, and that's where I was aiming for. So I started off like at a 6:15 mile, and I was like, I will improve, but I want to get a feel for it right away. And that 6:15 mile just started getting slower and slower and slower, and my hopes started just dwindling. I was like, I'm doing so bad. I've lost. What am I doing? I actually had pretty positive thoughts. I was thinking to myself, I had a great swim, great bike. I just need to work on the run in the future. But, overall, I'm happy with the overall results. I do think I do need to work on the run. I think I need to get more race pace intervals. I need to find a track. That's kind of my biggest problem, is I need like a track to work on. The high school and middle school tracks are still being used in the area. We tried going to a track, and I didn't realize that the track season for high school had been extended. So, and I think it states actually today. So I think going forward, I will be able to go to a track. But when we tried to go to tracks before, they were being used Monday through Friday. But a 44-minute run, and to be honest, what did I clock? I clocked to 43. So I started my watch right when I left transition and right when I crossed the finish line. So the 44-minute run seems off to me. But I mean, whatever, 43, 44. I think the winning time was like a 38. So even though I thought I was going really slow, because I was comparing my times against previous times during the race in the last years, what I kind of failed to realize was that they did a different course, and it was much flatter, which is why people were able to do 35, 36s. But so 43 when the best time's a 38, and the guy who got 38, full-time triathlete. So I would have liked to do 2 minutes faster. I lost 2 minutes. I lost 2 or 3 minutes in the last 2 or 3 miles. So that's out of everything, that's where I wish I would have gained a little bit of time. I really couldn't have gone any faster. On the 6th lap, my legs were breaking down. I was having those stumbling moments. So I don't think I could have actually gone faster. But it's something I want to work on going forward, is just after a hard bike, hard swim, to be able to sustain the higher pace in the run. So I just need to work on the run and work on race pace, which I think that's what I neglected the most. I went out and did a lot of tempo running. I don't think I focused purely on race pace. So that's what I'm going to do going forward. It's hard to do on a treadmill too. When you get to those higher speeds on a treadmill, I think it doesn't replicate it as well as like on an open track. So that's what I'm going to work on going forward. 217, 4th overall, super happy. I really quick just want to look at the specifics here. We can ignore watts per kilogram. I didn't have a power meter. I didn't have an accurate heart rate monitor either. This is coming from my wrist heart rate, which was kind of sliding down my arm a little bit in the TT bar. So we can't really look at that either. I would say it's probably pretty accurate. 160s is probably where I was for the most part. 22 mile per hour average, which for how hilly it is, 1,800 feet of climbing in 25 miles, it was so hilly. You were just constantly doing hills, and my plan of attack was hard up the hills, but then just hardest gear on the flats and just spin out as fast as you can, because that's where you're going to gain time, is on the hills and on the flats. And then in the downhills, I pretty much just pedaled as hard as I could, let it coast because I was spinning out on the downhills because they were so steep. Uphills are so hard. There was so much climbing. It was crazy how much climbing was in this race. After talking to others, this is like the hilliest race of the series. I believe the last race was completely flat. People were doing like 25, 27 miles per hour. So, the next race, we'll see how different the course is. To be honest, I probably did better with more climbing. Like, the harder the bike is, the better I will probably do. So yeah, here's an image of the course. What we did was an out and then 2 loops here and then back. And then, yeah, this is all just hills, up and down the entire way. So that is the bike section. Let's move on to the run here. Oh, the swim. My watch didn't turn on during the swim. It's really weird when you get water in there. It doesn't, like, especially fresh water. It messes with your watch, the electrical part of the watch, so it doesn't work very well. The higher end watches will do the like open water swimming, but like the watch I have doesn't do it great. But oh yeah, elevation profile, you can see like flat section here on this stretch, but like right here, big climb, not a huge climb, but a super steep climb right here, followed by another climb, and then flat in this entire section, climb, another climb, and then just little rollers on the way back. All right, let's move on to the run. So this is where I really want to dig in. Super high heart rate. I was in the upper 170s the entire run section of this race. 43 minute race. It was a little bit over the 6.2. And this is not just my watch. I talked to other people. They had the same thing. So it was a little bit over 6.2. 650 mile on this course. I'm not mad about it. I wish it was closer to 630 or 615, like the pace I had started off with at the beginning, but 650, I can't be mad about that on such a hard course. We did, I think it was 551 feet of climbing in the run. Like 551 feet of climbing in a run is a lot. And then, so you can see, so we'll look at the course first. So the way the course worked, so I'll show you. So you do one of these big loops first, and then a small loop. And then those 2 loops is halfway. That's where like the sprint would have been done. And then you do the 2 loops again. A lot of people were getting confused by this too. But yeah, heart rate, I mean, upper 170s the entire time. It was peaked. Like my stomach was hurting, my legs were hurting, my chest was just like screaming, my arms were hurting because I don't know if this is just me, but like my triceps get super sore during the run, especially after being in the aero bars for an hour, like over an hour. Like arms were sore, chest was just screaming, stomach was having issues just from everything. You know, when you're doing such a high pace and then you throw in goos and stuff, like you're probably going to have stomach issues. It's so hard to avoid. It wasn't terrible. Like I knew I could finish, but it was affecting me, and not like affecting me like crazy or anything, but you know, it was affecting me. And then what I want to do is look at my splits. Look at this. Mile 1, 621. Mile 2, 623. Mile 3, this is where I started to break down a little bit, 645. And then the next couple, the last 3 miles is where I really started hurting. 4 was, let's see, where was I here? Okay, 4 was when I started the second of the 2 laps. So it was my 3rd lap. And that was where I was like, I need to just get through this section. And then I'm on like the home stretch, the last lap. Except for after that, I felt just trashed. Everything just felt trash. So I was just like hanging on, and I was like, we just got to get to the finish as fast as possible. And look at this. I dropped down to an 820 because it got so steep, and like I was just hurting. But then on this back, it was like kind of it was a downhill like right here, and then flat here. And then this was all uphill up until about here. So from about here all the way up to here was uphill. And then this section right here gained all the elevation of all of this right here. So it's just like one super hard steep section. And that's specifically where my legs were starting to give out, was going up this really steep part. And then there was a little bit of an uphill right here, like it dipped down then came back up, and then down here was pretty downhill. That was a nice part because you kind of coasted, you gained a little bit more time. And then this right here was pretty flat too, but like this is where where everything is happening right here. So you lose time here because you're kind of swerving in and out and stuff. You're taking sharp corners because they had it like this little section here. You had to go on the sidewalk. You had to take sharp corners. There wasn't much space, so you're losing time here as well. And then at the end here, I tried picking it up. I got it back to like a 625. And this down here is 645. So this back stretch, like I kind of felt like I could see the finish line. Once I got past this really hard section here, I kind of felt like, okay, I'm like done. Let's finish strong. Yep, 630 pace, 645. And that's like all my legs could do. And then I tried to finish really strong going into the finish, 625. Afterwards, like I just crashed hard. I tried to put down a Coke just to get some sugars in me, and like my stomach wasn't having it. It probably took me like a solid 20 or 30 minutes before my body started coming back around, before I was like able to get up and kind of walk around. And here's the thing that really sucked, was it was raining the entire race, which is fine because after the swim, like you're wet anyways. So, biking in the rain, like as long as like the pavement isn't super slippery, like you're fine. Like it wasn't super slippery. And since you're already wet, and it wasn't like a hard rain, like it was more of a sprinkle. Since you're already wet after the swim, like I didn't really notice it. And to be honest, like it was a perfect temperature. Like it kept me cool enough to where it wasn't hot, but it wasn't like cold either. Like it was like the perfect temperature. If it's going to rain, like it was the perfect temperature for raining. But then after the race, you know, the sweat on your body starts to dry and you get cold from the sweat, and then you throw in the rain, and like I actually started to kind of like get really cold. And they had a rule where you couldn't go back into the transition area until all the bikers finished the bike. And I think I waited about an hour after my race before I was able to go back into transition and like grab my coat. Like I was freezing. But yeah, I mean, besides that, the race went great. I know what to work on. So I'm really looking forward to, you know, getting some good track workouts in. I don't know how much I can do before my next race. It's already in 2 weeks. Focus right now is recovery for that race. I'm going to take a few days to recover, try to get like 1 or 2 hard workouts in. I might get a early like hard workout in next week, and then just do a little bit, probably take like 2 days to recover for the race. It's a short sprint, so I'm not going to take like a taper, but you know, I'll do like a day or 2 of recovery just to prepare for it, because I do want to do well at it. You know, I have a overall standing now, so you know, who knows, like maybe I'll get another good result and see how good of a standing I can get. So I'm pretty excited about this, you know. All right, well, I think that's going to do it. Thanks for watching, everyone. This is Bike Race Weekly, Triathlon Duo. Go check out the podcast. Go check out not old, but past YouTube videos. A like and subscribe would mean a lot to us, and thanks for watching.